Coach, coming off a 7-6 season, ended with a tough loss to Fort Dorchester last year. But you got a lot of quality, good players coming back. How do you feel about this coming season?
Man, we feel good. We've had a good summer. Kids worked hard. Got a lot of great senior class coming back. We're excited about the season.
One of those big seniors, and the talk around the area is y'all got one of the best quarterbacks in the area coming back. Mason Streeter threw for over 2,700 yards last year. What can you say about that veteran experience?
It's always good to have a quarterback coming back. And Mason's a good player. Real good stats from last year. Leader. Great kid, great teammate. Run through a wall for you. Our kids, his teammates have played hard for him. And, it's always nice to have a quarterback coming back.
Mm-hmm. You got a lot of good receivers coming back. One of those is Will Brown. Won the player of the tournament at the 7-on-7 at Burns. What can you say about a player like that?
He's probably the heart and soul of our offense. Will does so much for us with his work ethic and and how he handles himself on and off the field. He's a return guy. Sure-handed back there. Had a great summer. There was a lot of great players over at that 7-on-7, and we wouldn't have traded him for any of them. But Will's a leader. His teammates respect him. Not to mention, his athletic ability. He does a lot of good things for us.
Well, you got one big piece you're missing from last year is Brendan Robinson is gone. How are you going to try to replace that this season in the backfield?
I tell you what, I've had that question asked me a lot. It's hard to replace Brendan Robinson. 4,500 yards, all-purpose yards for his career. A great back, but we got a real good back that has sit back and waited his turn, and he's had a great preseason. Just unbelievable off season. He just worked up. It's unbelievable how hard he worked to get ready. He got to play behind a good back and see how Brendan did things. But KJ Rogers is going to be a very good running back. He had a great night last night in our scrimmage. Did a good job Friday over at Chapman when we went against them. But and we got all the confidence in the world. I really don't think we're going to miss a beat at running back. And he got a good backup behind him too. Anthony Rodriguez off of our JV team. Got a lot of carries. More of a straight ahead runner. They complement each other real well. We got a good back on our JV team that we could use if we had to. So we feel like we got three good quality backs in our program.
Well, with Boiling Springs, there's never been a question about offense. But you coming back with a defense that's going to be had a lot of kids played well last year. Coming back on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary. Donovan Anderson, Najee Thompson. You got Chris Evans playing linebacker. Tell us a little bit about how your defense is going to be this year.
Well, we got 8 returning starters on defense. Probably the most team speed that we've ever had. Those guys that you mentioned there, and also got Taj Foster. We kind of, Taj played inside at nose for us last year, and we were playing him both, moved him out to the edge. He's a real explosive player, built a lot like Chris Evans. So we got 2 real strong, fast edge players. They both give us a lot of help on the outside stuff, plays the screens real well. We got Donovan Anderson back there, like you spoke about. We got Najee back here. We got Mikhail back here. We got a 10th grader that's going to start right now at the other corner for us. Storm Duck, extremely good athlete. And is really, we put him in the fire and he's responded, and he's going to be a real good player. Linebackers, we got Cade Rojas and Graham Derrick there, and Hunter Peace in the middle. We got Latrez Pinckney. Latrez goes back and forth from outside to inside. Overall, it's the fastest defense we've ever put on the field. It's not overly big defense, but we'll take speed, and these kids they buy into what we're doing, and they bought in about mid-season. We really started making strides about mid-season last year on defense, and we got better and better. And the game's kind of all it's almost seems like nobody stops anybody anymore. And so we think we got a defense that's going to be able to make people work for everything they get, and then that along with our offense, we feel pretty good.
Well, I know a lot of times coaches hate to turn to the kicker, but you have a pretty good kicker, Grayson Atkins, that's coming back. I know there's been footage on the internet of him kicking 60-yard field goals and things of that nature. You got to have a little confidence when your special teams is that good.
Yeah, Grayson, man, he's a kid that's put in all the extra work for us, and works hard in the weight room. I mean, he works out like a linebacker in the weight room. I always kid him about that. And it's paid off. His leg strength early. He's putting almost all his kicks in the end zone now. He's kicking 50, 55 yarders in practice and everything. So I'd line up tomorrow. I'd feel confident with letting him try something. 45, 50 yard field goal and extremely hard work. Can also place the ball real well. We do a lot of directional kicking sometimes, and he places the ball, and not to mention he's a good punter too.
Yeah.
Really worked hard on his punting game, and we can tell a big difference going in with him kicking a football. So it's always good to have special teams, have a kicker.
Well, you've been in Region 2 4A for many years. Now you're moving into Region 3 5A. A lot of familiar opponents. But playoffs are going to be working a little different with only 4 of you making it in. How do you feel about this, and how are you looking forward to the new 5A system, I guess?
Right now, I think it's going to be great for high school football. It's kind of like the college playoff system. Regardless of how you pick, there's always going to be fuss about that last person gets in, whether it's the 16th person or whether it's the 4th person with us. So, there's no doubt that we got a region that's a lot like the old Region 2A as far as, and there was a day when we were considered, part of that mix. So it's fun to be in the mix with those other 4 great teams. And there's gonna be a good team left on the outside looking in. We just gotta do our part and make sure we're not one of them. But looking forward to it. Got a good non-conference schedule that we're gonna play. There's gonna be some good Friday night football.
Well, Coach, y'all had a great season last year. What's going to be your outlook for this season in general?
To get in the state championship game and win it. We feel like we can win the region championship. Of course, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that because we think we're any better than Spartanburg, Norman, and Burns. I think it's going to be one of Friday nights in Gaffney where the team that shows up to play is capable of beating the other ones. And we're looking forward. Our kids are looking forward to that challenge. And we want to. First thing we want to do is qualify for the playoffs and get in there. Hopefully, as the region champions. Secure home field, because I think that's going to be vital for a team that can get a home field advantage, and then it's 1 week seasons in playing advance.